6:01, and I'm going to go ahead and call the Destin City Council meeting to order for November 3rd, 2025. We're going to start out with the invocation from Pastor Kevin Wynn.
Romans chapter 13. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there's no authority except that which has been established by God. The authorities that exist have been established by God. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. We pray. Gracious God, Heavenly Father, from you comes all due rule and authority over the nations and states and cities of the world for the punishment of evildoers and the praises of those who do well. We humbly ask you to graciously regard these your servants in our city of Destin, these who make and administer and judge the affairs of this city. Look with mercy upon them and grant them to bear the authority you've given them according to your command. Enlighten and defend them and give them wisdom and understanding, that under their reasoned and peaceable governance your people may be guarded and directed in righteousness, quietness, and unity. Protect and prolong their lives, that we with them may show forth the praise of your holy name. We pray this in the name of him who is fully God, born fully man, to live the perfect life, to die the perfect sacrifice, to rise from the dead the perfect resurrection and life, your Son and Savior from sin, ascended to heaven, and to return the last day to judge the living and the dead, Jesus Christ. Amen.
You'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I would ask everybody to silence your phones or your watches and your phones. And council will open the floor. Are there any changes to the agenda?
I'd like to pull 3D if we could, please.
Okay. Pull 3D. Any other changes? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as moved? Okay. Second? All right.
Second. Sorry. I didn't have my
That's
light on.
okay. No other comment? Let's go ahead and call the vote.
Mr. Bagby, can you do a roll call?
Hold on.
You want to do a roll call?
We're not set up for,
Oh, because it's not there? Okay. All right. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Now we will go ahead and do the public comments. I'm sorry, we'll approve the agenda. Minus a 3D, which we just did. Now we'll do the public comments. I'll start over here on my right, y'all's left. We got a whole room full of people here tonight. Nobody wants to
We
make
have one.
Oh, go ahead, come on up.
More flooding.
Don Dallas, 442 Snapper Drive. I appreciate the city coming by here and trying to fix my flooding problem, which has been going on 4 years now. What they did, I appreciate it, but it didn't work. I had 8 foot of water, about that deep in my garage. My neighbor to the north of me had 5 feet. They're military. Okay? The fix ruined my carpet. I had nice carpet there to go on my hot rod, my wife's new car. Ruined it. I throwed it on the curb today. It was musty, mildewy, all that mess. I got appliances in the garage, unfortunately. That's the way the house came. Water's getting under my appliances. So what happens with salt water and metal? It rusts. My appliances are new. I filled out a form over a year ago. It was sitting over here, a grease board thing. Some gal was up here, I think from the city or somewhere. She said, put down your name and address, circle it, tell me what's going on, and we're going to get a grant to fix it. Ain't heard a word. I hadn't heard a word. Benning Drive, which is the next, east of me, next street. That was done in 2017. This city got 6, 7 million from Florida Fish and Wildlife to fix the streets for flooding. They did every street except for mine. They did nothing. All they did was cut a couple of swells on the west side of the street. So I've been fighting this for almost 4 years. If the city ran out of money then, I never can get an answer where'd the money go. Nobody, well, I don't know. I wasn't here then. I don't know. That's okay. Where'd the money go? Can't get that answer. All right? They ran out of money, then the next thing they should have done when they got more money appropriated, they should have fixed my street, which means digging out the middle, putting those grates in there, the big grates like they do on Benning. You put the pipes underneath the ground and run it, and the swalls and run it down there to keep from flooding my house. We're in the bottom. My neighbor used to be a retired colonel from the Army. He was very up on the, he did Katrina. We are sitting in it like he called it a teacup. My street runs, let's see, north and south. Juanita runs, east and west. So all the water from Juanita hits me. I'm getting all the water off of Kelly. I'm getting all the water off of Snapper Drive because the street wasn't fixed. They said they don't have the money. So what I think they ought to have done back then in 2017 was to go ahead and the next project you get, instead of buy land or pave this, the walk-in paths or whatever, that's all good, but fix my street, but I don't flood, okay? They always find money for, y'all know what the money's going to. I don't have to sit there and ramble it off because I've been doing it for 3 years. 9 million here, 16.5. DeSantis just give us 83-point-something million for the harbor. Everything's the harbor. Everything's this. Everything's that except for my doggone street. I want this on record. This is a safety and health issue. I'm telling you. Mold, mildew, me and my wife falls in that garage or we fall in that driveway, y'all liable. I was out there at 3:30 the other morning when we had that last little deluge, standing in my driveway behind the sidewalk with water up to my ankles, like a river going down through there. Okay, that's how bad it is. And it don't take that long to do it. Okay. And probably the last thing is, I bought this house because it wasn't in a flood zone. Plus, it wasn't a HOA. I don't like neither one of them. Well, guess what? My flood insurance, which we took out 6 years ago, $400. Now it's $800 a year. Got to have flood insurance because my garage keeps flooding. So I'm asking y'all, you always find money for the parks or for this or for that or for the harbor gets money. Everybody gets money except for Snapper Drive. We got to fix it, guys and gals. I'm telling you. It's ruining my house, ruining my life. So anything you can do, get a grant, to fix it. You get grants for everything. Fix our street. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
Sid Potter, 536 Juanita Avenue, Destin. I've mentioned this to the city a couple times. I went by on the 26th of September of this year and told the city about the corner of Anderson and Juanita. That'd be the northwest corner of my property. The asphalt is coming up in the size of Coke cans, big chunks. Kids ride their bikes up and down that street all the time. Mamas walk their babies in the carriages. It's a kid-friendly neighborhood. Little girl fell down the other day, hit the asphalt that was torn up. I reported this 40 days ago. It's not that big a piece. It's only about 3 foot by about 2 foot that needs to be re-asphalted. If the city can't afford to do it, I'll do it and send you the bill. Because this is a safety issue, not anything else other than safety. So I wish it could be addressed. It'd take maybe an hour. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Just a point of interest, the city of Destin has always been on Southern Living and Forbes' top 5 destinations. Guess what? We're not there anymore. Not even close. Guess who took our slot? Panama City. Why did Panama City? Because they cleaned their city up. I find what's happening, I've been here since 1978, and what's happening to the city is almost a travesty. We got more people here, the infrastructure is overloaded. Y'all know that. You keep building and it's gonna get worse. This is a little sliver of sand. I don't know if y'all were here for Opal. What happens in Opal? If we had an Opal here in July, it would be like Michael when it hit Mexico Beach, because you couldn't get the people out here fast enough. There's no way. There's also another thing, it's called clean up the city. Most of the cities around us are doing it. Clean up the city. We've got people in our neighborhood that have got box trucks parked in their driveways, construction equipment, running businesses out of their homes. And I spoke to a gentleman tonight, and I know how to address that, but it really needs to be looked at. We've got things in this town that don't belong in residential neighborhoods. Thank you.
Sir, any other public comment? Sure, come on. Okay, we don't understand my right, y'all's left. We're going the other direction here, but okay. Press the button and give us your name and your address.
All right. Ricky Lynn Grant Jr. and 175 Main Street, General Delivery, USPS. I was just going to kind of talk about my license in real estate. I'm a real estate agent, and I'm on the road to being a broker. So I got 22 more months of being affiliated with Destin One Realty, or Realty One Destin, you know, so 22 more months, and then I'm going to do the, I guess in a year, kind of do the 72-hour broker exam and trying to get 3 branch offices. So I always like to just, you know, talk about my license and keep it fresh. So I'm thinking more non-representation, you know, maybe non-representation and kind of just manage the transaction that way. But I'm always open to help out wherever I can. And I guess it's been I try to do this once a quarter because, you know, it helps. I've been coming here ever since, you know, I've been in Destin, and it's nice. So I try to just be open and be nice and, you know, try to keep my name front and center. And so I got my website, you know, working on the website, www.rickylandgrantjr.com, and just trying to stay up to date on all the laws and practices and in the Florida, you know, with the Florida Real Estate Commission and the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. So it's going well, and you just try to stay at an even pace. I guess I got a minute and 26. I want to utilize all the, I guess, my public speaking abilities, but yeah, other than that, it's nice to be here in Destin, the world's luckiest fishing village in the Northwest Florida, and you know, PCB or whatever, and all the way to Fort Walton Beach. But yeah, then I guess I got my Google ads, so hopefully, man, everything just kind of keeps going at this pace, and you know, just it's pretty simple to me. It's really simple. It's nothing complicated. I feel like I can do everything I'm setting out to do, and everybody is really nice, and you know, so I think it'll work out. But you know, I appreciate y'all for your help and your time, and you know, we got to be neighbors, I guess. So you know where I am, I guess, if you need me. But yeah, I guess this is just my quarterly thing to do with the government. So I'll be here if you need me.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Michael Van Dame. I'm at 3898 Gulf Mist Court, Destin, Florida. My neighbor sent an email to the council this morning at 6:46 a.m. concerning a basketball goal that was erected by our neighbor on public property, on the easement, and the goal and the net in the backboard actually overhang the public right-of-way. I filed a complaint to the code enforcement people in Destin a month and a half ago, and they went and said, this is a clear illegal violation, and it's got to be removed. And they gave them until October 29th to do that, to remove the basketball goal, which has a concrete foundation that he put in there. I called on the 29th to code enforcement to find out the status of that. And the code enforcement people said that the neighbor asked for a 30-day extension because he was going to solicit the council to ask for a waiver so it could keep that goal on the property. Now, my neighbor who sent the letter would be here, but since the code violation was issued, my neighbor and that neighbor had a confrontation, and the neighbor that wrote this got an injunction issued, so they can't be in the same room together. And we thought that guy was going to be here to solicit waiver or request waivers so they could put the goal in there. So I don't know if you all have seen the email yet. It was from a Brett Helton, Brett Helton, and he lives next door at 3899 Gulf Mist Court, and the other neighbor with the goal is at 3896 Gulf Mist Court. So I'm in the middle between the two. So I'm here speaking for Brett, and we just don't want the council to authorize this, which is a violation of the code, to precedent on the loveliness of our neighborhood that we live in. Basically, that's it.
Okay. The Gulf Winds Court.
Gulf Mist Court.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sir, I would just tell you and your neighbor that anything that we're going to vote on or consider will be on the agenda, and you can access the agenda either on the Facebook page or on the city's website. And Ms.
Okay.
Tamara will,
Okay,
you know, if it's not on there, we're not voting on it.
Okay, how do you get it on there?
You see that guy right there.
Okay,
Or you see the city manager and he tells that guy right there to put it on the agenda.
okay, I'll give you the letter. Okay, thank you
Okay?
very much.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment. Let's go ahead and vote on we pulled 3D, right? Just 3D? All right. Let's go ahead and vote on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Minus 3D. Any second?
I'll second.
Any comment? Okay, we'll do a roll call. We'll start with Mr. Schmidt down on this end.
Mr. Mayor, just for procedure, is there a reason why we're not using our voting thing? And is there a reason why we can't just raise our hand rather than go down the line?
We're not set up for Mr. Bagby.
Because I don't have access to,
The mayor pro
Dewey's-
tem should be chairing the meeting.
Yeah.
That's Councilmember Destin. He's coming tonight, but he's going to be a little bit late.
Yep.
And so Councilmember Bagby is jumping in at the last minute, and so it is not set up for him, and that's why you are doing votes that are not electronic.
boom.
And can
Okay.
we raise our hand versus going down the line, or is that a common
It's
practice?
better for the clerk if you vocalize it, because he's taking minutes and recording the sound.
Okay. Yes. Curious, thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yes,
Trammell, yes.
Yes.
now we'll, Mr. Braden, you want
Yeah,
to pull 3D here? So let's,
just 3D, the Dustin Fishing Fleet Second Amendment to the riparian rights is, I know we talked about this a while back, but I didn't think that we could do there couldn't be a 150, 180-year lease on something, or did I just misunderstand that?
This was, this was approved with the settlement agreement on January 6th of this year, and it will extend it 99 years from where it's at.
So I guess
Councilmember Bagby, can we possibly just take a 5-minute break?
sure, we'll take a
Thanks.
5-minute break. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back into session.
It hasn't been 5 minutes. I need 2 more
I
minutes.
know. You need 2 more minutes. Nice try. Mr. Braden?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve 3D on the consent agenda.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Mr. Braden, we'll start with you since it's your motion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously, and we will turn it over to the city manager for 4A.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, whatever you may be. Item 4A is regarding the Crosstown Connector Phase 2 request for bids, which is ready to go on the street with your approval, with 2 slight amendments. One, we needed to adjust the times. It was brought to our attention during one of our briefings today that we needed to make sure the times in the procurement documents reflected the times allowed for construction per our code. So that adjustment will be made. And second, we will insert some language to ensure that the drainage components, the underground tubes that are being put in, will be protected during the construction process. So we'll get that language added in there to make sure those provisions are adhered to as well. So subject to your approval, we'll get it on the street tomorrow.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make the recommended motion that the council approve RFB 25-17-CM with those adjustments that were just mentioned.
Second? Is there a second? Or maybe. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Council discussion? Any? All right, seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, Ms. Braden, we'll start down with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you, council. Next item is 4B for information. This is a land development code rewrite timeline. As you know, we've been dealing with this for some time. So in an effort to get some guardrails around this process, I met with our staff and asked them to please come up with a time frame that, while it may be aggressive, that's attainable. And prior to bringing it to you tonight as information, we don't need any action, but I wanted some assurance that we can meet the timelines that was spelled out in this table that you see. And to the person that's in planning that's working on this, we did agree that it was, while aggressive, it was attainable. So I present to you tonight a timeline that we will be moving forward with, and hope the timeliness of getting this land development code rewrite completed looks like about June timeframe. Can something come off the rails? Certainly, but we'll keep you apprised of where we are in the process as we move along. Item 4C is a update on the community rating system for particularly in the draft repetitive loss analysis. And the only reason we're bringing it tonight is you'd ask us at the first meeting in October to bring back a report. However, due to the government shutdown and the requirements of the that there a community assistance visit be performed in this process, and we had that visit scheduled for October the 22nd. Again, government shut down, so they're not visiting anyone. So we're waiting for the government to reopen so that we can get that visit scheduled and we can continue with the process. But what we will work on is identifying repetitive loss areas, the cause of that flooding, and then any feasible mitigation actions that may come about. So look forward to bringing you that back when we get some more data and get the visit that's required to occur. And so maybe they'll get things moving here in short order and we'll get it done. Item 4D is regarding the new state park working group discussion. You received in your package kind of a proposal from the county to initiate a process whereby there would be a collaborative effort between the county and the city. we kind of had a different opinion of whether it should be a sunshine covered group or not. And based on that conversation that we've had with the county, they withdrew the request that we take action to participate in it. So I know Ms. Kopp has had some conversation with some of the folks there that she may want to offer something, but the request on behalf of the county to enter into this working group has been withdrawn per their staff member that we've been dealing with.
Well, one thing I'll point out is it was withdrawn by a staff member, but I'm not sure that the BCC has withdrawn it yet. So one suggestion might be to appoint a council member anyway to set on the committee in case they end up deciding to go forward so that we're ready. Of course, open to other suggestions from the council members as well.
I actually have two motions, Mr. Mayor. My first motion is, should the county decide to actually have the meeting, I would like to nominate the Mayor Pro Tem to be this council's representative on any working group with such staff members as he may need.
I'll second that.
I just was going to ask it, they wanted to have a meeting, and then as soon as, behind closed doors, and as soon as we wanted to go public with it, they changed their mind? Is that what I just heard?
Correct.
So-
Second motion will cover that.
Can we make sure whatever meetings happen, we have somebody recording, because they seem to exaggerate situations in these little closed-door meetings and make up little fairy tales? Is there any way that we can legally record these things to make sure we're protected, City Attorney?
All public meetings are recorded. Are you referring to private meetings?
Well, are these going to be public or closed door? Because,
Well, that's the question, right? We had a difference of opinion possibly as to whether it should be sunshine or not. I think the city, well, I know the city wanted it to be a public meeting. So to the extent it's a public meeting, of course, it would be recorded.
and if not, do we have the right to record?
With the other party's permission.
All right. I would just make that recommendation.
Mr. Schmidt, you have a comment?
Yeah, I guess just on, Mr. Bagby said, should it happen? So you're making this assumption of if a meeting happens.
Well, no, this is, should it happen, then we have a representative.
So you're
My second motion is going to be that we set a public workshop meeting for January 12th and direct the city manager to coordinate with the county BCC and staff for their attendance, invite them, and if it can't be the 12th, 13th would be fine, but have a public meeting either here or at the community center so that we can get the public's input on the use of that parcel.
Right.
And so that, because I think it's in everybody's interest that we do this in the sunshine and do it publicly. I mean, I think we all either met or had the opportunity to meet with Commissioner Palmer, and I don't need another meeting with Commissioner Palmer, and I don't know if anybody else does, but you don't, or you do? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to just
Yeah.
verify that the should, I mean, that's under the assumption and the understanding that it would happen under sunshine
Right.
if it's a should, you know.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because there was a motion, but it wasn't seconded, and then there was a consensus, but then somebody in the audience, I believe Mr. Coffey or somebody at the county meeting said, no, we want this to be, just one-on-one, just a cup of coffee between a commissioner and a council member or something. And that's not how we operate, I don't think. I mean, we have those meetings, but we have them just so we don't violate sunshine. So my first motion would just be what it is to appoint Mr. Destin. Should the county change its mind between now and January 12th or now and our next meeting?
Yep. Call the vote. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion that we direct the city manager to set up a meeting the week of January 12th through the 16th, preferably the 12th. By then, the state should have closed on the property and have a public workshop coordinated, hopefully, with the Board of County Commissioners for all or some of them to attend to receive public input on the use of that parcel.
Yep, I got it last.
If I may, question for clarity, do you intend for that meeting to occur whether the county wishes to participate or not?
Yes, I mean, I want to meet, we need to get the public's input. I would think they would want, and I believe, you know, they're good people, they want the public's input too, and they want to know what people want to see there, don't want to see there. And I'm sure there won't be a lot of agreement, you know, because everybody wants to see something differently. But as the owners of a third of this parcel and the entire parcel north of it, we definitely need to make sure we get the public's input on what's going in and what will or will not be allowed there. Particularly since I believe it would require a change of use, right?
It would.
Yes, depending on what would be happening there, it could require multiple council approvals. It could require a comp plan amendment, a rezoning, a development order amendment, and a change of use. It just depends on what would be happening there.
Okay. But I think a good step is that we get the public's input. We all hear the same. I'd like for it to be joint because in that way we all hear the same thing when we're sitting there together. And there's precedent for that. We've had meetings in this chamber, joint meetings. We also had the TDT joint meeting,
we
which
did.
I'll just leave that there.
Okay, any other comments? Yes, sir, Tori, go ahead.
I have a question for Kim, legal basis, basically. So somebody made the threat that if we didn't voluntarily change the use of that project, they could go above our head to the state. Is that accurate? They can go to the state and overrule anything that we mandate here?
No.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Good answer. All right, any other discussion? Mr. Braden, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Trammell?
Yes.
Yes?
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes unanimously also. Go ahead, City Manager.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I have more on this item if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, thanks for doing that, Mr. Bagby. I think this entire transaction from day one, or day minus 100, if you want to call it minus 100, has been a very, to me and people I've talked to, a very shady and odd situation. And I would hope that the partnership that the city is supposed to have with the county, that would mean something a little bit more. I don't feel like they're meeting us in the middle right now in regards to this. So everything you said, I agree with. It's unfortunate, the discussions and conversations that have been happening past few days. I think it's very unprofessional and uncalled for, in my opinion. But on top of everything you're asking to do, I would also like to make a motion to have city manager reach out to the DEP and Senator Trumbull to understand the interest of the state for this property and their intentions with it, whether that's working with us, working in partnership with the city, county, whoever, just to get some clarification from those departments if possible.
I'll second that.
Okay, do we have discussion? All right. The only discussion I would have is property's not been bought yet. So I'm not sure there can be intentions entertained by anybody. I don't think the management contract has been let either. I suppose DEP would do that. And the only thing I want to say is, you know, we need to go forward working in hand with the commission, and I know you all agree with that, and I think the commission will also. So there's a lot of steps to go yet. And until property's been closed on, DEP has awarded a contract to manage, and we make our case to be working with the county on that, then hopefully we will all work together.
I don't disagree. I just, for specificity and clarity, if the state is buying it, I want to listen to what the state is saying and not what a staff member at the county is telling us.
So the motion is to have the city manager contact them and.
DEP and Senator Trumbull directly, their offices, to understand. And they might say nothing right now, but I just want to I don't want to hear from the county right now about something that they don't even own either. So that's my intentions.
City manager?
Agreeing with what Councilmember Smith's saying, I think at least the conversation would be, and give us a time frame. What we don't want to happen is sit back and it close one day and next day they've got a management agreement that would be contrary to our best interest. So part of that conversation would be, if you can't give us those details, at least not let us get caught, sitting on our hands at some date in the future. So I think there would be some value in that.
I would second that motion in addition to the contrary to our interest, contrary to the interests of the citizens of the state of Florida
Exactly.
who are buying it, and the citizens of Okaloosa County who will be the home to it. All right, in that case, if that's, any other? Ms.
Yeah, I
Trumbull?
was just going to say that they need, Trumbull needs to be invited to the January 12th meeting. Let's go beyond the county as well, if we can get anybody at the state level to come to hear the citizens.
I think they will be in session
Yeah.
by then, and that'll be tough.
It's an early session year next year,
Well, that's true, but
and I think we can discern that when we all attend the legislative delegation meeting in December over in Shalimar.
that's true. Okay, all right.
Sounds good. All right, in that case, if there's no more discussion, Mr. Schmidt, how do you vote?
I got one, Mr.
There's more?
One.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I just
Rodney.
want to make one comment. I agree with Mr. Smith, that what you said, working hand in hand with the county, I think we need to work hand in hand, but they haven't done that so far. It's been underhanded instead of hand in hand. And apparently they've been working on it behind the scenes or whatever for quite a while. So I think we need to do our due diligence and, do what we need to do. And if it comes to that point, then we can work hand in hand with them and, try to do it above board. But I agree, we need to go state level or do our homework. Thank you.
Thank you, and I would point out, at least the best I can tell, the commission itself has not taken any positions. It's just been low-level discussions between staff. So on that note, Mr. Schmidt, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tory?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
That one passes unanimously also. City Manager?
Thank you, council. Next item is regarding the East Pass Bridge Committee, and we call it East Pass Bridge because that's what the DOT has decided the name is, and so we can call it Destin Bridge and Marble Bridge. That's what they refer to it as. So council had asked that the Harbor Waterways, the Harbor CRA, and the Public Safety Public Works Committees meet together with Mr. Bradley Touchstone to discuss the aesthetic component of the bridge. Had a very productive meeting here last week. A lot of good ideas floated around. It culminated around the idea that, and Mr. Touchstone certainly thinks this is the way to move forward, is to formalize a committee that would be comprised of 2 members of each of those 3 committees that you have appointed to sit on a steering committee that would be formalized through a resolution, which is before you tonight, to bring recommendations back to council. Also, it would give some formalization of a committee that could represent council in front of the DOT, make recommendations to DOT. But it's been Mr. Touchstone's experience that having that citizen advisory committee and working group committee certainly benefits the process of getting more than just the concrete structure. So the resolution you have before you would formulate that committee. It would be a 6-member committee with Mr. Touchstone being a non-voting advisory member, but certainly would participate in the proceedings.
I'd just like to make the motion. I move to approve Resolution 25-23 as presented, and I'm really proud of all 3 of those groups to get it
Second.
together and get it organized.
All right. I just wanted to clarify one thing. I think you said they make recommendations to us and not to the state authorities.
That's correct, but they would participate in some of the public meetings as I don't want to say a representative of council, but apparently in Mr. Touchstone's history in doing these, those committees add some value to the ask of council. So if it came through a advisory committee to you for your consideration and you passed it along, that would be the official notification or request. But it would come, any official would come from the city council.
Very good. I just don't want to take the risk of being crossways with a committee. Okay, on that note, we will vote. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Tory?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Okay, that passes unanimously.
Next item 4F is in regard to the Lee property that I think we're all familiar with. We were asked at the last meeting to contact Mr. Lee, the owner of the property, to inquire about a purchase price. And I had a conversation with Mr. Gator Lee, and he indicated to me that the asking price now is $225,000.
All right. Anybody have any discussion, motions, et cetera? This does not require a motion. It's just for discussion purposes, I think. Mr. Schmidt?
Yeah, thank you. That was me, I guess, asked that just for some better understanding of the price, to make sure we were all on the same page. I spoke to different people on Indian Trail, different areas, and just brought this up just to kind of ask their gauge interest about the city pursuing something like this. And the only feedback I got was, as long as it's not going to be for the road that might be connecting Indian Trail in the back, that was basically the only negative feedback I got. Walking past to connect, to make it a loop, I was told about that. But ultimately, I guess, question for Jeff, would we be able to get a grant for clearing land and putting a outdoor, let's say, gym and walking path type of thing, like Fort Walton, equipment, and there are grants that could be used to do something like turn this into a usable space, do you know of?
Potentially.
Potentially, gotcha. I guess for me, I would like to see maybe a report from staff of the true usability of it and functionability to see if there's any interest to maybe buy it. An outdoor space, it's just an idea. I'm not sure if there's anybody else that's would like to add more recreational or park space or green space, but it seems like a possible opportunity. Went out there and it's a lot of brush right now, so it's hard to really get a good idea, but I just didn't know if there's interest in doing more to pursue it.
All right, comments?
Yeah, I got one, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. If we're looking to spend money on property and making parks or something, we have a piece of property on Joe's Bayou, fairly large piece of property that's up by where 4th Street, I believe it is, hits Benning, that's wooded, that I'd rather see that cleared off and a usable, put a dock or something out there. Yeah, I mean, that's on the water, so I'd much rather see that done. Or, we have several other pieces of property that's on the water, to do something with that before we buy something just to make a park out of it or
That's a great point.
just my 2 cents.
I didn't even know about that one, so that's great to hear. We should pursue doing something with it then. Is that part of the Joe's Bayou State Park coming in the future, or? Okay.
It was part of the investigation that staff did years ago about how many rights-of-way we had leading to the harbor,
Yeah.
and there's 8 of them.
We should take some action and do something over there then.
Yes, that eventually.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Lack of a motion on that one, then city manager, please proceed.
Thank you, sir. The next item is 4G. This is selecting a date for our visioning session. We had proposed 4 dates. I think we, through some conversation and briefings, it looks like the January dates may be better for most, but certainly leave that at your discretion. The facilitator is available on any of those dates.
All right, do we have anybody who has a day they cannot come?
I cannot do any of the February dates. So I'm willing to, let's see, pull me up here. Let me get my calendar out.
Aren't you retired?
Yeah, I know, but listen, you're busier when you're retired, let me tell you.
I'll move to hold it on Friday, January 23rd.
Second.
That's the January 23rd? Everybody good with that one? Tori?
What time does it start?
What time?
My haircuts are 9:30 every Friday.
Oh, no.
Every single Friday? Every single Friday.
Well, you
other Friday?
come in late.
Every Friday. Yeah, I'll make it work.
All right.
I is too, but I miss most of them.
All right, we have a motion to set it for January 23. Without any other discussion, Mr. Braden?
Yes.
Trammell?
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Did we get a
Yes.
second?
Yes.
All right, that one passes unanimously also.
Thank you. Item 4H is your quarterly investment report. So any questions for our minutes for the board and committees? And we move to announcements. The only one I will make, and then Dr. Young has several. But I'm excited to tell you that the registration information sharing exchange, the RISE program from the Department of Revenue, we've been participating with them for 2 or 3 months now, gathering information to support our short-term rental registrations for condominiums. We have identified that there are there's 3,887 in their database that we have not captured. So you extrapolate that out by $500, that's $1.9+ million. So we begin that process. And while I'm doing that, I'll share these with you. I don't have 3 of them because they're just samples that we've gotten printed up now. But we've had 188. We've actually reached out to all those that we thought we had identified prior to this, and we've got almost 1,100 who have applied for their short-term rental registration for condos. So somewhere, there's a couple of them, 100 that have been issued, so they're in the process between those 2 numbers. But based on, I think it was Mr. Destin that mentioned what the county does with the cards, with the QR codes, we've been able to replicate that, and we will be utilizing that in this process. So once we get this fine-tuned to the degree we can, those cards will be going out to those individuals, and we'll hopefully have a new stream of revenue in very short order. So we're excited about that. And the other part of this is we get to share with the DOR through this RISE program those that are in our system that they may not have identified. So it's kind of a balancing act that we'll share our information with you, you share yours with us. And so it works well that way. So we're looking forward to how that will work out.
Very good.
So, Dr. Young.
Good evening, Council. You had requested the city manager have staff look into the possibility of a no-wake zone Joe's Bayou in terms of whether or not the public had information about that. So we did solicit public input on that. We've received so far to date 17 responses, 15 favorably of having some type of ordinance considered. But we're continuing to collect data on that. We've got ads out on the radio and blogs, newspapers, and other mediums, and I'm passing those along to the city manager and city attorney as we receive them. On Tuesday, November 11th is Veterans Day, and we will have city offices closed in honor of that federal holiday. The Holiday Craft Show at the Destin Community Center will be on November 14th and 15th, and we have more information about specific times on our city's official Facebook page as well as our website. And finally, our Public Works Department will begin tree trimming this week. So crews will be out helping maintain the 15-foot clearances over roadways, 10-foot clearances over sidewalks, and other safety and beautification measures.
Thank you very much. All right, we will move into public hearings. City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. This is first reading of ordinance 2519 CC, an ordinance of the City of Destin, Florida, amending Chapter 2 Administration of the Code of Ordinances relating to city membership in the Florida Retirement System, FRS, providing for membership in the Florida Retirement System, FRS, for the benefit of city employees, providing for conflicts, providing for incorporation into the Code of Ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. This is a public hearing, so do we have anyone from the public that would like to speak on this issue? It doesn't look like we do. Council?
I move to approve ordinance 25-19-CC on first reading.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Mr. Schmidt.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I will not be able to support this. As I've stated before, most of the folks I've talked to in the city of Destin are curious and wondering why we're spending $750,000 of their money to change over to the system. I've yet to really understand or see a positive reason why it's necessary to change to spend that money. When we're talking about trying to save money and find recurring revenue and things like that, and then we're going to spend $750,000 potentially every year than what we currently are for some of our employees. I don't think it's doing right to the city of Destin's residents that pay into our tax revenue, so I can't support it.
Thank you. Further comment? Mr.
The
Brady?
only thing I'd have to say about that is I know a few years ago we did a study as a pay study for the employees to get our employees up to speed with, I guess, the state average or whatever. And some of them, their pay, I think, almost doubled. I could be wrong about that, but some of them was quite a bit. Everybody's pay went up. And I don't remember one single pushback on that whatsoever. And in my eyes, in my mind, this basically what this is kind of a pay raise or to keep our staff, and they're not going to other places that are doing, maybe be able to pay more money or whatever. But anyway, that's how I'm basing my decision off of. Was, you know, a few years ago when we increased everybody's pay and it went up a bunch. I don't know, Crystal might know what that salaries or what pay went up that year, but it was quite a bit, and there was zero pushback on it. I think the whole council approved it. So that's why I'm supporting it.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just for clarity, Crystal, is this considered a pay raise, or would they actually be losing money in their paycheck because now they have to contribute more to Social Security?
Now they have to contribute more to Social Security.
So their paycheck will be going down now?
Correct.
So just to clarify, me personally, I'd rather take $750,000 and give them a bonus or a raise every year. I think they probably prefer that more. I think if you ask the staff, they probably would prefer more so than what we're about to do, in my opinion. But just wanted to clarify.
Ms. Tremble?
I was just going to say, I did ask the staff, not if they wanted a raise, because everybody wants a raise, but they did want this. I have been thanked by several, even parents of staff members and relatives of staff members, thanking them. So I am in support of this. I think it's a good idea, and I look at it as it's one of the few times that staff has actually asked us to do something for them. And they are our citizens as well. We should look out after them just as we look out for every other citizen.
Thank you.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but let's remember what this does. This gives the staff the option. We're not giving them money, we're not taking away money, we're not charging the taxpayers more or less. This gives the staff the option of self-determination on the retirement system or systems that they want to pick. And, you know, if they want to take whatever it comes out to, $10, $25, $50 a pay period less to be in Social Security and be in the FRS, that's their decision. We're not making a decision for them. That's been my point the whole time, is let them decide. And if it's 100%, if it's 50%, if it's 10%, at least we have a happier staff and they got to pick their retirement plan.
Mr. Bagby, you said that we're not increasing the cost, and we're not forcing. You're not forcing the current hires, but new hires will not have a choice. Right. Okay, so just point that out. But two, maybe staff can, this is a staff prepared memo, but it says the worst case scenario is an additional $710,093.
Yeah,
so
that's the worst case.
But you just said
it could be zero.
But you just said we're not
zero,
increasing,
right? It could be zero, right?
But you said we're not increasing anything.
Well,
if everybody takes it, it's $710,000.
That's right. Everybody takes it, but
Okay.
everybody's not going to take it.
But we could. I would want to be a little bit more clear that we could be increasing $750,000.
We could.
Okay.
Well, not really. 710,000, not.
$750,000. That's
No,
pretty
that
close.
would be 750,000.
Well, yeah, yeah. You're very good with numbers. I forgot. Thank you. Let's just be very specific and clear and get facts.
Okay, and the only comment I have is I've gotten very positive feedback from all the staff members I talked to. I talked to one senior member today who was very, very happy that we were allowing them to take part in FRS. She said that she had been engaged in training people for the last 10 years who, as soon as we got them trained up, left because they didn't have the ability to be in the retirement system that they wanted to be in. So I have not gotten anybody who came and told me that they thought it was a bad idea that works there. In addition to that, the worst case scenario is 750. I think the realistic estimate of what we would spend the first year is closer to between 350 and 4. And so it's a small investment to have people actually train and continue to work here rather than go on somewhere else. If there's any other comment, we will take it. Yes, sir, Tory.
I just have a question for staff. We have 10 staff members right over here. Can I just get a show of hands of everybody here that would like this FRSA thing?
I would add.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's not it's not a kind of votes they took where they don't have to put their name to it, but I see they all were willing to do it anyway.
Yeah, so I just wanted to understand before I voted. Thank you very much for participating.
All right, on that note, I will call the vote. Mr. Schmidt?
No, sir.
Tory?
Yes, sir.
I vote yes.
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 Okay, that one passes 5-1. Mr. Schmidt voting no. Okay, now we're at comments and presentations from council, mayor, city attorney, Councilman Braden.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I know we talked earlier about Louis Zanguzzi, asking him to maybe help out on some things. And I I guess he called and to see if there was something with staff, if there was something he could help with, and was told no, that there's really nothing, but we seem to can't get the LDC done. I know we're on a great track now to get it completed, but that may be something he could help out with from home. Another thing that came up tonight was the STRs. We're, $1.9 million short of what we could be getting. I'm sure he'd be glad to be helping out with that. For something he could help out with, that would be, he needs some help with medical bills and whatnot. I'd love to help him out. Another thing I noticed where the Alvin's Island burnt down here on 98. They started the construction on it. They poured a very large slab there, and they did not have to start at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. They were out there at 10, 11 o'clock, pouring concrete, finishing it. So it can be done. We don't need to start it. Some of them were starting at midnight, pouring concrete. The Snapper Drive, the flooding at Snapper Drive, is that poor gentleman going to come up here for the next 6, 7 years? And
He
nothing
might.
going to get done, or?
Well, just a little briefing there. We actually spent $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 putting in a design that he asked us to put in. We had a design, and he said, no, we got a better idea, so we put in it, did there what he asked us to do, and staff, correct me if I'm wrong, but so he's got the deepest swells in that on the street. He's got a drain across his driveway, but he also has a house that sits below the road, and his driveway runs downhill. So absent some mechanism at the house to capture that water, he's subject to be back here. Is there a method to fix the whole neighborhood? Perhaps. I know we had some numbers early on that it was several $100,000 to do a plan that maybe had been designed some 2 or 3 years ago. But our staff's been out there many times, been there several times myself, and it's just, there's the grade is falling back to his house, and like I said, he's got some swales there that are probably 24 inches deep, 30 inches deep maybe, to the deepest we could get them and maintain the integrity of the front slopes and the appropriate slope for safety reasons. And he does have a means of moving the water across his driveway.
Is he the only one that's flooding there because he lives in a hole?
He's the only one I've heard from. I don't know, Michael or Robert, if y'all heard anything different.
So Mr. Dulles' home is kind of at the bottom of the bowl, the drainage area in that Snapper Drive, Juanita area. And like the city manager said, water does come down Snapper, a little bit of water comes down Juanita, and it kind of collects at that position. That's why we went with deep swales. That's why we put the trench drain across his driveway, and it has a pipe off of both ends of the trench drain to kind of equalize the levels if it gets that deep. But again, like the city manager said, the home was built in the early 80s, before we had that 1 foot above the crown of the road requirement for stormwater drainage, and it's a casual little flow down to his garage door. And up until maybe a couple months ago, he had a downspout for his gutter that was discharging right there at the driveway. So we asked him to put an elbow on it to kind of shoot it over to the side yard, mitigate a little bit of that flow. But at this point, I think we've just about done everything we can do.
So when we did that study, it was a few years ago, and I know one point was off of in the main street, maybe on Planet, had a lot of flooding over there. I don't know, I think we had several other places in town, and I don't know if we got a grant to fix a lot of that stuff. And I guess my question is, was Snapper Drive one of those projects that we identified as a problem flooding?
Yeah, I believe what you're referring to is the stormwater master plan, and that was not part of it. That was not an identified project. Back in the mid-2010s, 2015 to 2017, there was a NIFWIF grant, like Mr. Dallas did mention. The section that would have covered Snapper Drive was a change order. It was removed from the project per a change order. So that was run through city council, I'm assuming, at the time. But like the city manager said, we did get a quote from our current asphalt contractor. It also does our stormwater for us, and it was just around $300,000 to install 2 inlets and run the pipe over to Benning Drive.
Is there a chance of getting a grant for that?
We can certainly put it on a list to look for them.
Okay, thank you. I also had one of our citizens called me before I come to the meeting, wanted me to ask about the property across from the Clement Taylor Park on Calhoun, I guess the old Nigerian property that was talking about buying for parking. Just need to get an update on that. I don't know if the city got an appraisal on that, or if there's appraisal done.
We did have an appraisal done, and it was, I believe, there was 2 parcels there. We appraised one, and I've got it, but I'm going to do my best to remember. I think one was between $600,000 and $700,000, and one was between $500,000 and $600,000 for those parcels. I know one of them was the property you just spoke of, and the Nigerian property, but I don't remember exactly which one. But we did do 2 appraisals on those properties, and they were pretty expensive.
And that, you said that was 2 properties?
Yes, sir, there was 2 parcels there that we did appraisals on.
And you said it was $400,000 or $500,000 for each property, or?
That's correct. They were separate appraisals, and both of them were plus or minus $600,000, if I recall.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything we can do about the pothole that was brought up tonight over on Juanita?
We'll be out there tomorrow to take a look at it. Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Braden. Ms. Trammell?
Well, I've spent just about every day this week going down Kelly Street or back from Kelly Street. And I noticed that the speed limit on Kelly Street is 30 miles an hour right in front of our elementary school, biggest school in the county, and we haven't even lowered the speed limit. I know we do it during school hours, and we put a stop sign in to help slow down the traffic, but we haven't reduced the speed limit. So I'd like to look at, have staff look into reducing the speed limit to at least 25 down Kelly, coming from Main Street to Benning to, not Calhoun, Seibert, thank you. I was trying to think what the name of it was. So that our school kids that go to the ballparks down there, go to school, I think Lisa can attest that we have a lot more than just school kids there. There are people all over all the time using the school property there, kids and adults. So I would like to ask staff to, I guess, do a speed study or whatever needs to be done. Although the last speed study we did, we had one motorcycle doing 90 miles an hour at 2 a.m. and we put a stop sign in. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if a speed study is going to do any good, but I think the procedure is we do a speed study instead of looking at us voting to reduce the speed limit in front of the school. Thank you.
Would proper procedure be send it to Public Works to Safety to let them make a recommendation? Because I'm not sure about speed studies either.
We can move it to them. That's fine.
If that's in the form of a motion?
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that motion? Mr. Schmidt? Corey?
I'm going to let this slide.
Oh, good man. Any other comment? All right, let's vote on that one. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Trammell?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
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 All right, that passes unanimously.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, I'll skip by me, Mr. Bagby.
Mayor, I just want to thank Larry
and Sherry and David and Andy and all the folks that worked on this RISE issue with the state. You know, we didn't have to go out and hire a contractor to pay them $300,000 or $400,000 a year to do something which, now that we have the information, we can send out the cards, you know, and I want to thank them for, you know, making these little cards and identifying all those folks. You know, that $1.9 million is going to be, comes in right at the right time. And so I just appreciate, and I'm sure there were other folks that worked on it that were in the meeting that Larry had, but I just want to thank y'all for bringing that home.
Thank you. Tori?
Oh, I'm sorry, I had my mic on the whole time. There is something that we need to reappoint. Little discrepancy, but Ms. Gibson has voluntarily agreed to resign, and I would like to reappoint Mr. Casey Jones to the Harbor CRA Advisory Committee.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that one?
Yeah, can we make sure that staff and everybody's got his right phone number? Apparently they call in the wrong one or call one that he'll actually answer.
I'm sure they'll figure that part out. All right, Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 All right, that passes unanimously. Go ahead, Tori.
One more quick thing. At Main Street in Kelly, there's an intersection right there with 3 stop signs. There's an amazing gentleman that lives at the house at 504. He's between the stop signs.
I beg to differ.
He is a great guy. He has no reason to stop. He doesn't have a stop sign, so the little middle finger's popping up every time he tries to come out of his driveway because you think he needs to wait. That's your problem. He's doing everything right.
All
He's a
right.
great guy.
Motion denied.
Go ahead, Mr. Schmidt.
Was there a motion in there? Or?
No, I'm saying he's-
Okay, never mind, you're
There's
good.
people
You're
with the
good.
fingers now.
No, you're good. Where are the dates of the livery vessel registrations? I know it's a curveball. Do we have those roughly?
Do you mean the deadlines to apply?
Yeah, the application dates.
So registration opens up, I believe, November 1st.
Right, yesterday, yeah.
And then they're supposed to have them in by March.
Okay. So I'm gonna task or put a charge out there to Larry and staff that my hope is that come that deadline, we have a code officer that's gonna be hired, and it's gonna be obviously not a harbor master because we're not able to hire a harbor master. But my ask is that we have a code person on the harbor in a full-time capacity in the season, where I'm gonna be asking come that time to refund the registration fees for this year, because I think I'm tired of collecting money for something we said we were gonna do that we've yet to do. So that's my charge to Larry and you guys to see if we can make that happen. I know you're doing a lot of good things in code, so I just wanna encourage that if possible. I know we have a second reading of the FRS thing, and I hope nobody thinks I'm an asshole to the employees here. I know that survey was done that said some of us are mean. I really take truth to what employees have to say, and I've tried to express that many times. I sit with some of these same employees on the weekends in different places, and I do hear similar comments. But again, and I hope that some of the words that were said tonight, it feels like to me that we just feel like this is gonna be a magic wand to solve our hiring and keeping, because multiple people said, well, this person won't leave anymore, and we'll keep this person. And sometimes throwing money at problems doesn't always solve it. So there might be some good that comes out of it, but I hope that, Larry, that we don't think this is a magic wand to solve our internal employment problems. So
Understand.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
And I want to assure you, any thoughts of you being an asshole have nothing to do with that vote.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's just a joke.
No, you're good. And then I believe, just for the record, so people that are watching, that are interested in hearing, that I got the email, I believe, that said that the 446 Calhoun property sold to somebody else. Is that correct? Or whatever the address is? Is that what the email was?
That's correct.
So it's gone?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. You made the comment that we couldn't hire a harbor master. Was that because of budgetary constraints, or is there something else I don't know
I
about?
believe that the official harbor master requires a certain harbor thing and
We had a
harbor master, so,
Yeah.
but we can hire a code officer that sits down at the harbor and does some harbor work.
Well, for the record, we had a harbor master for about 10 years in the past, so I have no understanding why we couldn't do that if we had the money and decided it should be done. So I only have one little comment that has to do with Mr. Braden's comments about hiring some extra help. The city manager does that, but I would appreciate it. I won't put it in a motion for you to look and see if there is some work we need done that Mr. Lewis could participate and help us with.
More than happy to.
Yep. Okay, city attorney.
I don't have anything. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
If I may, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, before you move, Mr. Braden, 128 Calhoun was appraised at $705,000, and 130 Calhoun was appraised at $630,000. So I wasn't too far off, but, yeah. And if I can just say one other thing, going back to the county, the park property, my conversation with Mr. Coffey have been, for the most part, positive, with the idea that whatever ends up there, let's make it good for everybody we serve. And I believe that, I hope that's reflecting of the intention of this council, and I hope it's reflective of the intention of his board. And so I'm going to move forward with that understanding, that we want something good that is in good keeping with what the city has control over, that, you know, we're not going to be unfairly burdensome on the county, but there are things that we need to make sure we're looking after the folks we serve. And so that's the position I'm going to move forward unless there's some further direction. But I think good can come from it, and that's what we're going to strive to do.
Absolutely, and I concur with that. It's going to be good, the fact that we're going to have public property there instead of a very large condo. So we just have to work out the details, and I look forward to working with them on a positive note.
Mayor Pro Tem? I just wanted to, I think I can speak on behalf of all the council, thanking all the staff for the open house that they just
Absolutely.
did. I thought it went over well. Everybody that I saw there was thoroughly enjoying themselves, and as usual, the fish fry was wonderful.
Mr. Braden is still enjoying himself.
Rodney's still celebrating.
Marcy, you coming? No? Okay.
Want to say thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, if we don't have any other public comment, I think we will adjourn.